Happy Monday. Welcome back, smiling and shining friends. It is a Monday, and Mondays are my favorite because that means we get to talk about a new word of the week. Let me just pull this back so it's all out. Yeah, see, look at that. We get to talk about a new word of the week this week, okay? And this week's word of the week, I think, is perfect for Mondays because this week's word of the week is one we all face, sometimes with excitement, sometimes with fear, and that is change. Mondays are the perfect time to talk about change because every Monday is a mini fresh start, a chance to reset, realign, and remind yourself that you don't have to stay the same. So, let's be real. Change can be uncomfortable. It pulls us out of the familiar, and our minds are wired to crave that routine and that safety. That's why it feels easier to cling on to what we know versus what we don't know. And comfort doesn't equal growth. Think about it like a garden, right? Before you see flowers, you see the soil looking messy and you see the seeds are buried, and from the outside it seems like nothing is happening. But underneath that layer, change is at work. Roots are forming, growth is pushing through, and eventually the beauty shows. That's what change is. It starts hidden, but it leads to visible growth. And here is the truth about change. Without change, there's no progress. Every single transformation you've experienced in this life, moving, starting a new job, growing in your mindset, all started with the same thing: change. Think back to a friendship that shaped you. It became that change, right? A lesson that you learned the hard way. Change. Even your confidence today is built on changes you once resisted. So let's think about this too. Change is often the very thing carrying you closer to who you are meant to be. And if you resist that change, you will not become who you are meant to be. Here is something we don't talk about enough. Change doesn't just shift your circumstances, it shifts your perspective. A setback you once thought was the end of the world, later you then realized it was redirecting you. A relationship that ended, a job you didn't get, a move you didn't want, all those changes shaped the way you see your reality today. Change stretches you, it stretches your vision, and it helps you see the possibility before you even know it, right? You only saw the problems. That's all you were seeing. It was like tunnel vision. Change teaches you to recognize the strength where you once only felt struggle. Change shows up in all kinds of ways. That'd be starting your new job, moving to a new place, and learning to find that footing all over again. It's scary, but it's necessary. It's scary when a relationship ends or a new one begins, becoming a parent or entering a brand new season in life. Even the small shifts like choosing differently about yourself, setting boundaries, or finally letting go of these habits that were holding you back, those are all changes. And some changes will feel small, some changes will feel huge, but every single one shapes who you are becoming. It may be scary. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's not going to be scary. Most of us, though, see change as a loss, whether that be losing comfort, losing control, or losing what's familiar. But what if change is actually a gain? When a seed is planted, like I said, in that ground, it has to break open before it grows. That breaking isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Change doesn't take away who you are, it reveals who you are becoming. So, as we step into this week, I want you to hold on to something. Change isn't the enemy. Change is evidence that you are alive and you are growing. So embrace the change. Whether you're facing whatever you're facing, right? Trust that it is shaping you for something greater, okay? And as always, stay smiling, stay shining.